George Leonard once said, "Start with something simple. Try touching your forehead with your hand. Ah, that's easy, automatic. Nothing to it." But there was a time when you were as far removed from the mastery of that simple skill as a non-pianist is from playing a Beethoven sonata. First, you had to learn to control the movements of your hands. You were just a baby then, and somehow get them to move where you wanted them to. You had to develop some sort of kinesthetic image of your body so that you could know the relationship between your forehead and other parts of your body. You had to learn to match this image with the visual image of an adult's body. You had to learn how to mimic your mother's actions. Momentous stuff, make no mistake about it. And we haven't yet considered the matter of language learning to decode sounds shaped as words and to match them to our own actions. Only after all this could you play the learning game that parents everywhere play with their children. Where's your nose? Where are your ears? Where's your forehead? As with all significant learning, this learning was measured not in a straight line but in stages. Brief spurts of progress separated by periods during which you seemed to be getting nowhere. Still, you learned an essential skill. What's more important, you learned about learning. You started with something difficult and made it easy and pleasurable through instruction and practice. You took a master's journey. And if you could learn to touch your forehead, you can learn to play a Beethoven sonata or fly a jet plane, to be a better manager, do martial arts and get your black belt or improve your relationships. Our current society works in many ways to lead us astray, but the path of mastery is always there, waiting for us. I have come to realize that there is more to this particular area of knowledge and learning than meets the eye. There are a lot of things that aren't apparent when you first start learning something. Newbies, when they first start learning something, they always want to start out learning the tricks. They always want to learn the flashy techniques first. Well, once you learn those flashy techniques, you find out that there is something more to it. They don't always work, there is something deeper. Masters can walk into any situation and appear to create magic. It looks like they are getting lucky far too often. Doing the obvious thing does not always serve you. The nature of wisdom and expertise is very counterintuitive. This means doing the thing that seems like the thing to do isn't the thing that works. Doing the thing that seems like it won't work is often the road to success. You will find that masters in all fields often do things that are very counterintuitive. 80% of what they will do, you will go, "Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense, it's obvious." The other 20% is very counterintuitive, but the counterintuitive stuff is done at all those critical moments. The best thing to do in a situation isn't usually the obvious thing. Masters do counterintuitive things that wouldn't be natural for others. The master makes success look almost effortless, which leads novices to falsely assume that what they are doing is easy and simple. Don't be fooled into believing that it is not complex just because it looks easy. When you spend years combining expertise, experience, great mentors and access to great advice, you will start getting lucky all the time. In your mind right now, I want you to put a little mental note that when you're watching a master do something that you don't know how to do, it is going to look easy, but don't let that illusion fool you. Don't let that fool you. It only looks easy. If you first fail when you start learning something, do not be discouraged. The surefire way to eliminate failure is to learn from it. If something comes up and you consider it a failure, if you then immediately say, "What did I learn?" As soon as the idea even starts, you have now eliminated the failure from your life. You can eliminate failure forever by learning from it. I tell you, a lesson that you have learned is priceless, and I don't care what it is. Never be fool enough to deny admitting your personal failings, because the lessons that are often the hardest learned are the ones that are the least forgotten. Take control of your personal evolution. Seek the history of the things you are interested in learning and become a student of your interests. After learning how the current models have evolved and becoming competent, you begin to have what I like to call future vision, and you will be able to see how things will evolve. This will lead to what I will call situation predictive powers. You will be able to see the possible scenario outcomes and then behave accordingly. The most important place to use this is in your own life. Review your own personal evolution and then take control of it in the future. Evolution means not only to evolve but to transcend and to then include. One of the most fascinating things that I have learned is that when you really master something and you really get into it and you learn everything about it, what happened in the past and how things got to the point that they are at now, and you learn a lot of different ways of looking at it. You also learn different models, sometimes conflicting ideas. You begin to become like Neo in the movie, The Matrix. You begin to be able to see the future. You can see the way things are going to turn out before they happen. Do not be in a rush. Most people are interested in getting instant results. Humans are wired to value results that can be achieved with the least amount of effort right now, not later. This leads many people to focus on the very lowest levels most of the time. Most people focus on situations and techniques. It's very rare to find a person who is even interested in seeking new skills and understanding, never mind about high levels such as reality, identity and beliefs. If you only focus on situations and techniques, but you keep the self-image and belief system of a person who doesn't deserve success or who hasn't mastered the core concepts of their interests, what do you think is going to happen? The higher levels affect all the levels below them, so where do you think you should focus most of your energy? I believe humans are wired for short-term results. Humans want instant gratification, and it is at such a deep level because if you didn't do things that got instant results 100,000 years ago, you died. You didn't live through it. This is why I think instant gratification is at such a core level, and I have termed this our dark psychology. So it is an important thing to remember that when you are wrestling with these things, you are going to have to face the feelings of I want instant results and the opposing concept of investing time. Most people are very uncomfortable with ambiguity, uncertainty or paradox. So they want one or the other, they want to use one for security and to get over to one side. That is she my girlfriend or not? Are we moving closer together or further apart? I have found that very successful business people tend to have a common trait in being able to deal with paradox and still operate effectively. They can hold two opposing thoughts in their mind and then still act. Self-programming. It has only been the last 100 or so years that evolution has become conscious of itself. Charles Darwin, 12 February 1809 to 19 April 1882, came up with the concept of evolution. Up until that point, evolution had not been conscious of itself. So it could not become a progressive feed-forward loop at the level that it can today. I personally consider evolution the greatest discovery of all time. I think that the concept of evolution is so massively powerful, and I am not talking about the did we evolve from monkeys or apes, or did God create the world in 7 days theory. I am talking about evolution as a process of being able to evolve, refine, get better and more effective. If you have evolved to the point in your life where you embrace the idea of taking control of your own evolution, then you must become an expert in programming and reprogramming yourself. A practical model for this is what I call objectifying your demons. Ken Wilber says when you objectify one of your demons, meaning you describe it, you talk about it, you analyze it, you pick it apart, you effectively strip it of its power to run your life. You then become its master instead of it being yours. You basically reframe it by chunking down. Objectifying, describing and analyzing is a way of reframing, and it's very powerful because you begin to realize that this demon that has previously ruled your life is nothing more than an idea, a concept, a mind virus, or a programmed response. It is an emotional reaction that you can take control of. I want to ask you, what are your personal demons? Objectify them and thus reframe them. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel.